Hey guys, I'm back to do week 9. Like I said in the previous video, I was gone last week, so I had a sub, so I was really glad to be back in class this week. We're having Spirit Week at our campus, so I have my, we did favorite sports teams, and I have multiple favorites, so this is my get by with it all, because all of my teams are blue and white. So, but we had a good class today, and we were missing a lot of people. I guess it's starting to get that time of year where people are going to be getting sick. So hopefully everyone will be back with us next week. But in the meantime, let's get to what we did in New Grammar. So we had our timeline this week. So for timeline, we had Byzantine, and they're going to make an E and make a sash. Emperor, Justinian, not Justinius as I kept saying in class, Justinian, and then Benedict and monasticism. And so monasticism had to do with monasteries and monks, and so I just explained that movement to the kids as we're making M's, and monks often wore hoods, so we're putting a hood on. So monasticism, and then keep your M in this hand. Mohammed founds Islam. It's like kind of like you're making a claw, but it's 3 fingers like this, and it goes down in him. Islam. Zanj and early Ghana in Africa, and then of course you have to do the drums on your legs. Franks, so our F, and then because we're French, we kind of go like this. Franks. Defeat Muslims, so again, our Islam or Muslim sign. Muslims at the Battle of Tours. Golden Age of Islam, so we're going to do our sign for gold. And again, Islam. There's a lot of that in this week. And then Vikings, V. Raid, like you're grabbing something, and then trade, like this. So that was our timeline for this week. For math, we had our 15s, and we just jumped this week. My kids really like jumping. They really like to make me out of breath is really what it is. I act like it's the worst thing ever when they circle multiple numbers in a row. So that's what they do, and we end up just jumping the whole time, and then I'm overly dramatic about being out of breath. I really am out of breath. I just want them to think that I'm not really out of breath, but I am. So anyway, so we just jumped for that this week. Then we moved on to history. For history, I had written down follow the leader, but because we were missing several kids in my class today, I decided not to do that one. So what we did is I just let them sit or stand or dance or do whatever they did, and we just sang it through several times. It's a tricky one because it sounds very much like the part of the timeline that talks about the Compromise of 1850, but it has other words in it. So we just sang that through a few times. It was really simple. I had taken my box out that had my egg shakers in it, but if you have egg shakers, because of the shaking in the background of this song, it's a perfect time to get out your egg shakers and let the kids shake eggs to the song. So we had a few that just sat and sang. We had some that stood up and sang. We had a couple that were dancing, so that worked pretty well. Then we went on to Latin. And so we've moved from vocab to Latin to now Latin rules. And I reminded the kids that last year they had learned a bunch of conjugations and that they knew that word already. And we talked about a few of those. And then we got our action sticks out, and I made the whole class do it today. So we had different actions like say it in a cheerleader voice. We had flap your arms while you say it. I'm trying to remember, touch your toes while you say it. So we just did that. It was a pretty short sentence, so that worked well. Wasn't too much to remember while you're doing an action. Then we had the 4 parts of the lymph system. So we have the 4 parts of the lymph system are lymph vessels, lymph nodes, your spleen, which is right over here, spleen, and your thymus, which is right here. So we did lymph vessels, lymph nodes, spleen, thymus. That's kind of how we did it in class. Then we had irregular verb tenses too, which was to lay this week. So let's see, I'm going to angle this down just a little bit here. I'll show you what we did. So we had blocks. You can't see my face. We have blocks. You still can't see those, can you? I'm going to put them back here. I gave them 6 blocks, and they had little squares that they did it on. So what we would do is we would say to lay, and we would lay a block down, and we'd say lay, lays, laid, laying, laid. Because you're laying the blocks down. Aren't I clever? Yeah. So, again, we just used blocks and we did that multiple times. They could stack their towers any way they wanted to. So it was fun because sometimes their towers would stand and sometimes they didn't because we were doing it pretty fast. But, excuse me, that worked really well. They really liked doing it, and I took some pictures at the end once they got all their final towers. I told them to make their best one, and then I took a picture of everybody's tower. So for my class, I'll try to post that on our Facebook page. Then the last thing we had was geography. So for geography this week, it lent itself pretty well to mnemonic devices for the capitals. So we went through all of them, said them, outlined the states, and then we drew a salt shaker for Salt Lake City, Utah. And then we drew just like a bird like this for Phoenix, Arizona, since a phoenix is a type of bird. Then we drew CC, Carson City in Nevada. And then we drew Sacramento, California. What did I do for that one? I can't remember what. Oh, we drew a sack. Sorry. We drew a sack in Sacramento, California. Last night I couldn't think of anything to do for that, and then I had inspiration come to me this morning. So we drew a sack for Sacramento, California. And then we drew a flower like the type they have in Hawaii that they use in leis, a hibiscus flower in Honolulu, Hawaii. So we went through and then I would ask them what state has the capital of Salt Lake City, and they would, find the mnemonic device that went with that and say Utah. So that's what we did for geography today. For fine arts, just had some 10 whistle. They're getting a lot better, and they did really well. I didn't have to put any whistles in jail today, so that was really good. And they're really starting to be able to play some stuff. Some of them could play a whole song, which was really awesome. So just keep encouraging them at home to practice. And tip that we talked about today is that you need to be pressing hard enough on the holes that you're making donuts on your fingers. So you have little circles on your fingers when you're done. For science, we're doing my body. And today I read to them several things out of this Basher book, which is The Human Body. It's really awesome. It's a great one for at home because the pages are only like this long and they have these really cute illustrations with them. So the kids always want to see what the illustration looks like this was kidney. So, and they're great to read in class if you're tutoring. They're great at home. You can mark the pages and have them read the pages that correspond with like the 4 parts of the lymph system. They have a whole section on the lymph system in here. So, you can have them go along with that, or you can have them read the ones that go along with my body. At home, I have Ella, that's my daughter, I have her read what corresponds with our science memory work for that week. So anyway, that was what we did today for week 9. I was glad to be back in it. I cannot believe we only have 3 more weeks before we break for Christmas, which is crazy. And I'm really excited. This semester has gone really quickly. So hope you guys are all having a great week, and I will talk to you next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.